What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the East of Stretford podcast, baby.
Fuck yeah.
Today we are talking our dream Man United 11s for next year. So who should we bring in the summer? Who should we sell? And there's a lot of those, in my opinion. And the structure of how this podcast will go is one of us will go through our entire team. Then the other two will criticize it and talk shit about it. And then we will do that for all three of us and hopefully come to some sort of consensus at the end. So what's up, Vishnu? How you doing, man?
Good. How are you guys today?
Doing pretty good, guys. Doing pretty good. Let's do this.
Karthik's stuck at the office, by the way, everyone. So
Yeah,
that's why
I'm
he has
still
a
here.
much better background this time.
Fucking hustling. Yeah, that's right.
On his voice, his videos, some top tier shit.
Isn't everything just better, like 100 times better?
Yeah. So, by the way, my mom watched this podcast and she was telling me I can't wear glasses because apparently there's reflection off of them. There's nothing I can do. And she says I swear too much. But I can't.
Well, you showed it
So
to your
I will
mom,
continue.
so I don't know what you expected.
But she's usually fine with me. But fuck,
Yeah.
Mom, I'm very sorry.
All right.
But apart from that, let's get going. So Karthik is gonna kick us off. We previewed his team.
Alright.
Shit, sorry to
Fuck you,
start with
okay?
that. Go
I
ahead.
was just being realistic, all right? I'm being really
Alright.
realistic
Alright,
here. I
go
know
ahead.
what's been happening. All right. Fine.
Go ahead.
All right, guys. So, how should I start with the players going out, right? So I'll first talk about the players who were most likely leaving, and then I'll talk about whoever I think we should bring in.
Sure.
All right. So who I think is going to go out is basically, well, Pogba. Obviously, I think we can see that move happening as soon as the transfer window kind of opens up, unless like there's like a major miracle and Pogba just gets along with the team in the next 2-3 months and then figure something out. But I highly doubt that. So
Right.
he's out. So I think he's going to be like our biggest source of like revenue we might get from the transfer window. So I'm thinking at like around 150 million with add-ons. I don't know. That's a very approximate. I think we can leech them for more, but then again, Pogba's been injured for most of the season, but he still has a brand image, so you never know.
Right.
And Woodward is a stingy piece of shit. So yeah. And Smalling, Rojo, I think both of them are gonna go, or either I wouldn't actually mind if one of them stayed back because we could use the depth in defense, especially for the smaller games like FA Cup, Carabao Cup, and stuff. So I'm okay with having one of our own names still. If they do come back from the loan,
Right.
there. Yeah, and then definitely Jones out, Lingard, Pereira, both of them out. I'll get into that later. We've spoken about this several times. I think this is pretty straightforward. And I see Gomez kind of taking a loan move. I think he needs to go to a smaller club where he can actually like develop himself a little bit more. I think he's a fantastic player for our reserves, especially. He definitely looks like a United lad, but he definitely needs to grow up a lot more.
But his contract, just to interrupt you there, his contract is up at the end of the summer. So
Or,
if he doesn't
yeah,
resign, he will leave for free.
Even Fosu Mensah, right? Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, so those are my outs for now. My ins, Grealish. Obviously, it's like the most talked about transfer right now. I hope it doesn't end up being a saga like Bruno. I do feel like Grealish is a good buy now. I don't necessarily think my other option was definitely Maddison, but I just feel like Maddison and Bruno, like the playing styles are a little too similar for me. So I don't know if they can. I don't see them, playing together at least. It would if we do buy Maddison, unless Ollie figures out a way, but I'm leaning more towards Grealish. And definitely. Okay, and then Koulibaly, which is probably our next biggest target for the next transfer window. So I'll get into this later, but I'm not a big fan of this buy, but we'll get into that later. My third buy was supposed to be Hakim Ziyech, but I don't know anymore because I just found out that Chelsea has just agreed to deal with Ajax for, I think, 38 million. I think his transfer value was at like 50 million, and he's been they've agreed to a 38 million deal. So I think instead of Ziyech, I would probably go for someone else from Ajax like David Neres. I think he is
Yeah.
an upcoming talent. He's 22 years old.
That's a really
His last season was pretty fantastic. Even this season, he's only played like 12 games, but he scored like six goals. I think it's that right wing of ours, which is pretty weak with James there right now, who can't really take anyone on. But this kid, definitely he's got the Brazilian touch in him. So it might help. He might link up well with Fred as well. You never know. And in midfield, I think, yeah, now that Grealish is also in, I think we could use, I mean, our biggest issue has always been depth. So I think we should try and, again, put in money for another midfielder who can probably come off the bench, like Ruben Neves. I think he's a good buy. I think this could also maybe work out for, so I was thinking like this could ideally be like a, sort of like a trade deal with maybe Pereira going the other way, because I feel like Pereira could do well in a team like Wolves. You know, they're a pretty young team, and Pereira might get a better opportunity there. So, I mean, if we look for something like this, a player like Neves who can come off the bench as well, and also like, you know, put in a solid defensive performance, so that would be great.
Right. Right.
So this comes to my striker. So I know this is like the most like. So I did a lot of research on this guy. Okay. So I was looking across like several leagues, and I saw Cyril Dessers. He plays for Heraclo, if I'm not right, Almelo. It's a Dutch team, and they're like ninth on the table right now. But he's like the top scorer in the Dutch league. Like he's got like 14 goals this season, and he's big. He's probably like 6 feet. He definitely is the kind of striker we're looking for that we thought we would find in Lukaku, but it didn't quite pan out. So I don't know. I just feel like if we do spend big on Grealish and Koulibaly, we're not going to spend big on a striker necessarily. So I don't think we should put, if we're going for Grealish and Koulibaly, if this is like a transfer that is definitely going to happen, then I don't see us, you know, getting in a big name striker. So I think we should like try and look at the smaller teams. I think the only team right now linked with Desters is like West Ham. So, you know, so I think, and they're not a, you know, Heraclo is not such a big team either. So I think right now his value is at like some 1.5 million, but I'm pretty sure end of the season it could go up to like 5 to 10 million. But let's see. I'm not. But I think like that's a player we could bring in and who could actually come off the bench as well, if not start right away. But yeah, those are my ins, guys. What do you guys? I mean, I'll start
So
talking.
walk us through your starting 11.
Yeah.
Okay. So
You're like ideal 11. What you'd play in, like, let's say against City or Liverpool or something.
yeah, so this is what I'm looking at right now. So if we play like a 4-2-3-1, or like what we usually do, it's usually like a 3-5-2, right? If I'm not mistaken, like it's with even the left backs and the right backs are helping us out. But I feel like now that if we with the current team that I've put out, so I think De Gea on goal, obviously, uh, Bisaka and Luke Shaw, obviously left back, right back, Koulibaly, Maguire in the center. I think Fred and Grealish could take on the most central role in midfield. So where Grealish sort of hangs back and Fred sort of also like, you know, balances out the midfield and attack. And then we have, why are you smiling, Arman?
No, just keep going, bro.
All right, cool. I know you're about to shit on me, but all right, anyway.
Keep going.
And Bruno, obviously, in a more attacking midfield position. We have Rashford and probably Neres on the wings. So Rashford on the left and Neres on the right. I think that would be like sufficient pace for us. Martial still a striker right now because I would Dessler should ideally come off the bench, but I feel like Martial might just. I'm not too sure about this, but I'm also not too sure about us making a really big, you know, center forward by this transfer window. Like, I know we should, but the way, I mean, from whatever I'm reading right now, it just looks like we're looking more at, you know, midfield and defense and less towards like whatever's come out so far. So yeah, I mean, that's my ideal starting.
Who will be in your like rotational squad? Like who are in the subs and stuff? Who do you
Um,
team? You know.
right. So right now I have, I mean, our goalkeeper is Romero. I think he's a fantastic second team goalkeeper. I don't think in goal we need to make any changes. Fuck people who think De Gea need to leave. I do not agree with that. I just
AKA
don't
Armand.
think. I just don't agree with De Gea leaving right now. I don't think that should be like, you know, a priority right now. But yeah, I mean, we have Lindelof, Bailly, Tuanzebe, Williams. I mean, I do think Brandon Williams will eventually take over first team. I just put Shaw in right now just because of the experience he has, and he's been showing a lot of heart. So, so I'm okay with that. Then we have Dallo. We have, if you do go for Neves or like someone similar to him, we have that option in midfield. McTominay, obviously. Matic is obviously leaving. His transfer is also ending. I don't see him renewing it. But he has been slightly better for us, I guess, in the past couple of games. So, but I don't really see him. I think Milan is just waiting for his contract to run out to probably sweep in for him. Yeah.
I think I was on mute. I did want to say on Matic,
Yeah.
we have the option to extend his contract out for a year, so it's on us.
It's on us. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then obviously
But-
Greenwood is there. Fantastic. I mean, Greenwood as Greenwood, James, and Dessers, who are like our other attacking options that we can bring in later. So I think this at least gives us a little bit of depth. And I just went with these options because I felt like it was just more realistic considering our history in the past couple of years. Like I think now it's more about like spending smart than just going all out on someone just going out like what we did with Pogba or like what we did with Lukaku and Sanchez. Like probably not do that.
Okay, can I stop you now because I've heard this bullshit for too long?
Yeah.
Like, dude, your team fucking sucks. Like, I don't know how. Like, somehow I'm looking at your team and I feel like it's worse than the team we have this year. Like, for some reason, it just looked like shit. Fred and Grealish in midfield. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Where is Fred gonna play then? Even if Grealish does come in.
But do you think Fred and Grealish can play in a two?
No.
I think, dude, why not? If you're playing,
no chance.
All right, well, let's agree to disagree, but I don't see the big deal in that. I think Fred has been showing like good progress while he's defending and while he's attacking as well. So
no, but what he's trying to say, what Armando's trying to say is they are very similar sort of players. So there's no like sort of balance in the middle anymore because you've taken Pogba out of the equation. And then if Fred is still like, he's not able to take these like shots outside the box yet.
Which is why I think bringing in someone like Neves is not a bad option either, because that's a different player that we have.
Another point I was going to make, because Neves is not that great against push, come and shove. So players who are challenging him in the middle, he struggles to cope with it. Only if he's got like ample amount of space on the counter attack is when he goes ahead and like throws it into Neto and Gimenez, which
is why I think he's good to come off the bench as well. Like, he doesn't necessarily have to be a starting team player. But guys, if you're going to go for Grealish and Koulibaly, for me is pretty expensive. And honestly, like going in for Koulibaly right now, I don't see us getting any other really big name. I don't see us spending more than 50 million on another midfielder. So like if there are midfielders within that range who you think are better, then I mean, yeah, sure.
But Grealish plays left wing right now for Aston Villa right now. Like he plays on the left. He does it like you're putting him in a center defensive. You're removing Matic and you're putting Grealish in. Like
pretty much. That's what I did. Yeah. I mean,
but how does that make sense from a defensive point of view? Who's gonna defend, bro?
But I feel like Grealish is also a pretty like his defensive game is strong. He's a big guy, man. Like I don't see why not. Like I don't see why not why he can't play that role. And that just gives us more options. Like even if Grealish can play on the left, great. I mean, that's fantastic. But that doesn't mean, we need people who can in defensive midfield that Matic has not been able to do. Like, we need like some sort of attacking mentality, even in our defensive midfield that we don't have right now.
See, the problem with defensive midfields, and also I wanted to make this comment. Your team kind of looks like a guy who skips a lot of leg day because your defense is a bit off because we've been investing a lot heavily on our midfields or forwards and stuff. What we need is a world-class defender right now. We thought that Bailly was going to be that person, but he's ridden with injuries. Okay, cool. We've paid 70 mil for Maguire, but we need to rebuild like what Liverpool did. I have one problem with your left back because I don't think Williams is ready to full on start a whole season. And like I still feel like since Shaw is also not good enough for that squad, I feel like you should have focused a little bit more on that area than anything else. And because of that, like even if you bring Grealish to that side, he's not going to run back. He's not a wing back, so he's not. He's going to struggle in that position. He'll be a little bit out of like a little, the FIFA things that you make when it comes all green. You won't have that if you bring
the ultimate team. Yeah.
I think we should move on, but like Kartik, you can say your last point, but all I want to say is I'm so happy that you're not the manager of Manchester United.
All right, man. Well, I tried, so I think. But anyway, so all right. Well, all right. One other final point that I wanted to make was so I felt like I know we're gonna have a lot of. Right now, we're trying to revamp the whole team and change it all up. I think this brings me back to the other point where we should try and not avoid letting too many players go as well, because of the fact that I feel like we have finally established a certain dynamic, a certain style that at least Ollie's trying to implement, and we're seeing it in the players. Now, if you bring in completely new players, it's about setting them into the same dynamic. And I think there still needs to be familiar faces around the old boys, so just so they don't feel like they're completely a part of a new team again. And I think that's been our biggest struggle over the past 2-3 years, because we have so significantly changed teams so often that we haven't had a consistent team going for a while. So yeah, I mean, overall, yes, I would be great. So I just want to bring in players who I feel like we can cultivate and we can kind of plan for the long run instead of thinking short term, because we've done that a lot lately.
Fair enough.
Yes.
So,
fair enough.
Yeah,
Mr. Vishnu Ramesh, go ahead. What's your team, bro?
I guess this is, since we've just completely slammed Karthik's team down, I'm a little bit nervous to go with this.
No, slam him in the comment section below. Like seriously, just continue the.
You know what, guys? Fuck you. I stand with my team, man. I mean, I still think there are options that. I don't think this is half a bad team. And honestly, my biggest issue is we're not going to spend big. I mean,
dude, let's just move on at this point. Okay. I think Vishnu, go ahead.
All right, cool. Similar to what Karthik said in terms of, I'll start with outs first. I think we can all agree that Pogba's definitely going to go. Hopefully, at least. I hope he doesn't ruin the dynamics of what Ole is trying to bring into the United culture for the next year or so. I think that he won't go for 150 million just because he's been playing shit and he's gotten a lot of injuries. So that does affect his price. So we may get paid maybe 120 for him, which is still decent enough. Lingard going as well would really benefit us. I think Atletico and Roma are looking at him for maybe a 50 million price tag, which is amazing for us. We'll just be take it for free more than anything else. I also see one thing I think you forgot to mention as well, Karthik. I think Sanchez would be leaving as well. Remember, he's still contracted with us.
Right. I just don't consider. I don't think he's.
Yeah, but his market value is not that high. It's about 30 to 40 million, which is still decent money to get in another. It'll
for Sanchez, it's 30 million.
Yeah, it's still 30 million for Sanchez, which I find ridiculous to begin with, because he's barely played in the last 2 years. Apart from that, Jones, I think he's just going to go to one of the other. I hope he stays in the Premier League because I still like to see him there. But I think he'll just he'll bugger off somewhere. I see Gomez going on loan as well to one of the stronger teams. Maybe I think he'd be a good rotational player for maybe a team like Everton or Sheffield or some teams that's competing for the top 6-7 spots. Yeah, so I think we can accumulate over about 150 to 180 million that from our outs. And maybe if we pump in maybe like 50, 40, 50 million, we could get in a good net amount to spend on our ins, which I'm going to get to now. I would love to have Koulibaly in my side because I think he's an amazing center back. I think him and Maguire will really work things out together because one thing is missing from Maguire is all his like aerial headers and stuff that we saw last year, and he's been holding back position more than attacking when corners have been taking. So I think that when if Maguire is going for that, Koulibaly will be a um, great player to just be like, you know what, I'll hold back the lines. You go ahead, go attack, take your shots, and then we'll see. And even if it's the other way around, Koulibaly is not bad with his foot as well. He's a good striker, good clean striker of the ball. So I definitely see that pair working out. Wan Bissaka, obviously, on my right hand side. I'm not going to change him. I think he's doing a terrific job, and I think he'll continue to do that. Hopefully next year.
Yeah.
On the left is where I'm going to make a little bit of change. Um, I'm I really thought of Chilwell, Ben Chilwell from Leicester. He's been killing it for them. He's not he's not Andy Robertson good, but he's been doing a decent enough job. I think Brandon Williams is good as a rotational player. He'll be great for these crunch games, or if say Chilwell gets injured. That's my back four sorted. In my middle, I'm keep sticking with Bruno because obviously he's just come in the club. He's shown great promise in one game, so definitely he's there. For me, I would have McTominay over Fred, and this is a little bit harsh to Fred since he's been playing really well. But I think McTominay can like dictate terms a lot better than he is, and he can get those long shots in. And he's a tall lad as well, so he can get those headers in as well. Um, no, for me, Fred will go back to the bench and he will, play in case McTominay would be injured, which is he is prone to. And on the other side, it was Grealish or Madison for me. And I'm also going with Grealish just because I don't think we can get Madison because he's been killing it as well for Leicester. And I don't think we'll be able to get him for the price that maybe let's say 50 to 60 million range because I feel like we've already fucked up with Bruno in that midfield and Woodward's going to be hesitant again to spend that much on midfield again. Although like Grealish would be a little bit cheaper than that. Um, since we've got Koulibaly and like say Grealish, that's already 120 million. I'm going out of because for me, all right, let's start here. Rashford is going to play left attacking, and that'll be sorted. That's not a problem. I see. Uh, this is tough because I don't know where Martial will play or if he will play. I would not have him in my side. I would actually bench him for the time being at least, and then see where it goes. And instead of him, Cavani's transfer. Cavani will be a free transfer because he'll be finishing his contract with PSG, and I think we could get him for free, and we would probably pay the same wages to him that we pay for Sanchez, maybe a little bit less. But I think Cavani could be the Zlatan sort of role model we could have in the center. He just poach the defenders. He'd bully the defenders with his like strength and physique. And I think he could be a good addition just for say, if he gets us 10 goals in the season, I'll be more than happy because already got Rashford contributing, and hopefully if Bruno and McTominay fire up as well, then it would be perfect balance. On my right, though, I will bring in Jordan Sancho if I can, because I think we definitely need someone with that pace and that capabilities, who is English as well, to completely wreak havoc in that part of the field. Because I feel like if you see Bruno feeding it to Rashford and Sancho on either ends, that is just so fucking beautiful to watch because they can just cut in anytime they want. They can play in the middle. They can get those crosses in, which they're really good at. And also they can just like zip zap into the defense and score these fucking screamers. So that's what I see. But Sancho will be heavily priced. I think we'll have to pay at least 120 to 140 million for him. But Sancho will also be a bit difficult to purchase as a lot of other teams are also looking into it, really into it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's the reason why I didn't. It's not like Sancho wasn't an ideal buy. I mean, fuck yeah,
Yeah.
because like if you could get anyone on the right, it would be Jadon Sancho. But I just
Yeah.
feel like I don't think that's gonna happen, man. I mean, if it happens, great. I mean, obviously, like
Yeah.
what I like about a team is like it's extremely idealistic. Like this is a team that yes, I would have to, but I just feel like getting Chilwell as well as Sancho, and I don't see that.
Why,
Honestly, I don't see
dude?
that
Why?
because, dude, look at what's happened over the past couple of transfer windows. I mean, yeah, the pressure's on Woodward right now, but we're already like Koulibaly, fine, agreed. You guys have convinced me, like, okay, fine, yeah, we maybe do need. Vishnu's point was right, like that would actually kind of let Maguire go a little further ahead as well. Agreed, but that's what I'm saying. If we spend like, okay, what is Koulibaly right now? 80 million. That's his transfer value.
Yeah.
Yeah, 80 million, and then we're looking at Grealish at about 40, right? So
Yeah.
again, that's already like 120 million there.
Dude, we
And
spent 150 in the summer, like on
Yeah.
two players.
yeah, exactly, on two players, and
And
that's it.
we
That's
spent
all
the
we
most
did.
in we spent the most in the
And
Premier League.
yeah, and that's all we did.
And
Like,
Yeah.
we sold nobody except for Lukaku. Okay, we sold
We had
Lukaku.
kept
That's it.
everyone.
yeah.
That's it. And like even Sanchez is still like with us.
So are
So
you
I
are
feel
you
like,
really saying that we can get Sancho? Like, is this
Yeah, for
possible?
sure, dude.
yeah,
We can
absolutely.
bring in like 4 or 5 players for sure.
We've been
I
linked
think
with
you
him
guys are
heavily
being too
as well.
idealistic. Like,
No, no,
it's just
honestly, I get your
it's
point as
not
well.
gonna happen. Yeah.
You feel like I feel like you're trying to say that we won't be given that much of a transfer budget to spend on these kind of
Yeah.
players.
Yeah.
But usually when a player leaves for say a certain price tag, 1/4 of it or some point of that like sale will go into our transfer budget straight away. And like I think that Ed Woodward has realized over this last year that all right, cool. I need to make some smart decisions and try and
Yeah.
get what like the
Yeah.
team really needs. And he's in a lot of pressure right now to perform because even though with spending a lot of money, he hasn't like brought about any results. And like it sucks for like him as well and for the
Yeah.
team. But I feel like this is his last shot of like redemption to just go like, all right, you know what? Fuck it. It's
Yeah.
all or nothing right now.
If
The
that's what
fans,
it is, then yeah, fuck
yeah,
it.
Dude,
the-
and I think the argument is two, right? Like the argument is what we are gonna have the money to do, and the second thing is like can Woodward pull it off? I think Woodward pulling it off, I have no faith. Like if
yeah,
we had an actual good
Yeah.
director, then we could
Yeah.
then I would like I see your point there, but if we had a good director, we should think of it like that. If we had a good director, what would our team look like? Because
yeah,
spending that much money is very real. But my big problem with your team, Vishnu, is fucking
mm,
dude, Cavani, like are you like
Yeah.
dude,
I
he's
don't know.
old, he's at the end of his career. Like, why we're going youth movement? Why do we want to like bring in some dude who's like at the end of his career? Or he may have one good year, but like why would we want to do that?
but no, that's all we need, right? Till we get like Greenwood fit like completely to start in the first team. Rashford's gonna like grow out of the position he is right now, and he might switch to a left more than like a center forward.
Yeah.
We lacking. See, one thing we didn't do is replace Lukaku.
And
And like with the budget, say you're spending, this is where I'm coming to a little bit of realism as well, because if we're
yeah.
spending that much on Sancho and Koulibaly and say even Chilwell, like
Yeah.
we can't afford a world-class striker.
Exactly. That's what.
And
Yeah.
and I genuinely took Piatek out of the fucking table as soon as
Yeah.
we started this thing because like I did not have
I mean,
any idea that he went
isn't
to Berlin.
I think yeah, I read somewhere today even Alba might be interested. I mean, there were talks there, but
Nah, I
Alba's
don't even want
super
him.
lost,
I don't
dude.
yeah,
Alba's
I know, but I'm
for
just saying who else is there who we can possibly get. I see where Vishnu's coming with Cavani as well. Yeah, he's got that experience he can bring up front. I think he scored for PSG as well last game, if I'm not mistaken.
All right, actually, this is a great
Yeah.
question to ask. Out of these 11s that we shared and stuff, who are the guys you left out of this? Actually, let's let Arman finish his team and then we'll
Yeah.
go for this.
Yeah, motherfucker. But by the way,
Yeah.
if you
All
put
right.
Piatek in your team, I would have given you more shit than I gave Karthik. Like if Piatek was on that team, like that would be done. It would be done. He scored like 1 goal this year.
Yeah.
Um.
Go on.
Okay, so my team, you guys are gonna say it's like super unrealistic, all this kind of bullshit. But I have a bunch of outs. Okay, so I'm starting with a goalkeeper. I'll do mine like by position and who's coming in, who's coming out.
Yeah.
David De Gea to start. I would immediately go for Dean Henderson to start. I think he's a Man United lad through and through. But I don't think it's realistic that he will start off the bat. Ideally, if it was me, I would sell De Gea and I'd keep Romero as backup. But in this case, I'm bringing Dean Henderson back from Sheffield United because he's been so good.
Yeah.
And he's going to get a lot of playing time in the Europa League. He's going to get playing time in the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup. So he's not going to lose time at United, and he is eventually the heir. I think we have to all agree De Gea has had a slump. He's still world class, but why not build somebody else through? So I'm saying sell Romero for 5 million. Now at left back, I kind of agree with what Vishnu was saying. I think you bring in Ben Chilwell. It's super important. I would kind of give back Luke Shaw in that because getting Luke Shaw back for Leicester, it's not a bad deal for them. He's still a player. He's not great, but I don't know if they'd do that. Ideally, I'd do that, and if Leicester don't want him, I'd still sell Luke Shaw and keep Brandon Williams as backup. In my center back positions, I have Maguire at left center back with Lindelof and Tuanzebe behind him in the bench. And I'd put Marcus Rojo and Chris Smalling going out because Rojo is already at Estudiantes. Chris Smalling, he's been good, but we might as well cash in on him right now. 15 million, I'm saying we'll get for him. And I think it's reasonable given his
I think Roma would probably take him too. So.
Yeah, Roma will probably just put him off, yeah.
And, while you guys were speaking, I think I completely agree on Koulibaly. But, I wanted to add some realism to my team. So I said, okay, instead of Koulibaly, who's going to be 80 million, I will bring in Demiral from Juventus, who has been on the outskirts. De Ligt came in for that 90 million. They still were playing Bonucci in front of Demiral. Demiral sat on the bench, though he played more towards the end before he got injured. I think you could still bring him for 30 million. He's 21. He's got the potential to be one of the best center backs in the world. So if we can bring him in, I bring him in, and I keep Bailly behind him. And obviously, I sell Philly Jones. I don't know what money you get for him. I think honestly, you probably get 2 million for him.
Yeah, I think we'll get 2 million for him. What we got for Ashley Young, maybe not even that.
Yeah.
How much did we get for Young? How much was it?
3 or 4 million or something like that.
Yeah. Jones has no value. On the right, right back, nothing changes. AWB with Dalot right behind him. Now, what I think was one of the key areas that we needed to strengthen was center defensive mid. And the reason why I think that is Matic is leaving, I mean, my team he's leaving, but still he's getting old. And there's a dude called Dennis Zakaria from Borussia Mönchengladbach. And he's been killer, dude. Mönchengladbach have been killing it in the Bundesliga. And he's been one of the big reasons why. He can break up play. He's so good at I've been watching YouTube highlights of him. He's so good at passing the ball forward. He's not just a break up the play kind of guy. He actually passes the ball between the lines. And us being a counter attacking team, I think that's what we need. And I would put McTominay behind him. McTominay will still get a shit ton of minutes just because there's so many games, especially in your we need bench.
Yeah.
And I would bring up James Garner from the reserves because he's fucking good as well. He's young, but he's fucking good. And I would sell Matic for 10 million. But Dennis Zakaria would cost us about 60, according to Transfermarkt.
Matic is...
That's a big investment.
Right. But if Matic renews his contract, then we're probably not selling him.
No, we have the option to renew it or not. He doesn't have that option. The option lies with United.
Right.
So if I was United, I would say do not renew that contract.
Yeah. Then he goes off as a free agent, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And just like you guys, I in the right center mid, I brought in Jack Grealish as opposed to James Maddison solely because of the price tag. James Maddison would cost 80 million, and I think Jack Grealish.
Yeah.
Right, and if Aston Villa go down, which I'm hoping for, they'll have to sell just to have money to recover. So I think we can get him for 40 million, even though his true value is over that. And you can use him in the left wing. You can use him in different center mid positions. So I bring him in. I would keep Fred behind him, even though, again, Fred is going to get a lot of minutes. He's been playing amazing. And I would sell Jesse Lingard and Juan Mata because I think, they're past their best. Jesse Lingard has never proven to, be the player we need him to be. Left center mid, I wouldn't change anything other than selling Pogba for the 120 to 150. I'd keep Bruno as a starting spot with Andreas Pereira behind him. The only reason I'm keeping Pereira is because he has some sort of creativity, and you feel like he has the talent under there, but he keeps
it just
bad decisions.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. He just feels like I think he'll do well in a smaller team than at a team like Man United because I don't think he can. I just felt like he was very frustrated in the last game that he played. Like, things weren't going for him, and I guess he started seeing there was a lot of competition around him, and I'm not sure how well he can deal with that.
Right. I agree. Yeah. And then so selling Paul Pogba, that's unfortunate because if we could keep him, that would be amazing. But we need him to fund our other transfer areas. And then on the right wing, I agree with Vishnu, Jadon Sancho. That would be insane. Having Marcus Rashford, Jadon Sancho, and the guy I'm about to name as our attacking three would be legit. With Mason Greenwood behind him, just learning from these young talents who rose to stardom so quickly. That would be insane. Yeah. Marcus Rashford on the left. The reason why I've brought in somebody else, I've brought in Gerard Deulofeu to be the backup for Rashford. Again, this could be a little unrealistic, but I don't think he'll be that expensive. And I think
no, he shouldn't be. I mean,
yeah, dude, he should be like 25 million.
Yeah. What is he valued at right now?
I think it was that. And
I think it's about 25 million. That sounds about right.
Yeah,
the reason why I want to bring him in is because, dude, in games when Rashford is not there, we have no penetration.
Yeah.
Nobody attacks other than Rashford. So Deulofeu, if you watch the game, United versus Watford, Deulofeu was all over us, running into the box, fucking dribbling. He's so good. Yeah. And honestly, I would sell Daniel James already. He's not even close enough. I'm not selling him because that's not realistic. Go ahead.
James is on my bench though, so I wouldn't get to him yet.
I just think there's been a lot of responsibility just put on him that he wasn't ready to deal with yet. I think.
No, but I think honestly, this is why we're talking about other players being impact players for say other players. So if you bring in say Bruno and Grealish and stuff, James would have an easier day out. He doesn't have to struggle in the middle as he's doing right now. So maybe you might be completely right. Maybe he's just gassed out. He's just shit in general, but I feel like he could show some promise given another shot.
I wouldn't give him another shot, but I understand your guys' point, but I think he's just not good enough to be a United player.
What would Ole think? What's Ole?
Ole doesn't agree with me. He would obviously keep him, but I would sell him. And then the last thing is I would bring in Raul Jimenez. He plays on the counter for Wolves. He's so good, dude. He takes one opportunity, he scores that. He doesn't get that many chances, he always scores. And like you guys said, Martial is not good enough to be our starter. It's so unfortunate because there's nothing I want more than Anthony Martial to be our starting center forward.
Yeah.
Because I love the dude, but it's just time after time, disappointment. So that's my team. You guys.
Go on, Karthik.
No, dude, it's a great team. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a very idealistic team. Jimenez was literally the first person I looked at too when I was, trying to figure out. But yeah, man, I hope this happens. This looks, it would be great if we could pull off something like this, something even remotely close to this. I really want to know what we'll do after we get Grealish and Koulibaly. That being said, if we do get Koulibaly, Grealish seems more likely to happen. Koulibaly still not.
I have one question though. Your midfield, does it? Who would you start? Who would be what formation are you playing anyway? Four in the mid.
I'm playing a 4-3-3, and my starting lineup would be De Gea, Ben Chilwell, Maguire, Demiral, AWB, Dennis Zakaria in the pivot. It's CDM, Jack Grealish and Bruno Fernandes supporting moving forward. Marcus Rashford, Jadon Sancho, and Raul Jimenez. And I agree, it's pretty the chances of this happening are very, very low. If I had to take players out, I would probably take out De La Feu, and I would potentially take out Jadon Sancho and put somebody else. To be realistic, to be realistic. That would be my dream team.
Say, you don't have any place for McTominay on the side?
Yeah.
On the bench. He's not good enough yet to be a
So wait,
starter.
so you're having Fred, McTominay, Pereira, all three on the bench.
Yes.
How is that going to work out? Because like I don't think all three of them are going to be at the bench at the same time. There's no
Yeah.
because like say you're completely changing our midfield as well.
Yeah.
So you've got about 7 players in, right? Or aggregate 7 or 8 players in, and so you're not getting rid of any of these players as well, which might be the same problem we faced last year.
No, but dude, we have so many games, bro. Like in the FA Cup and Europa League, like we should not be playing always playing our starters. And the big thing we saw is when Bruno Fernandes goes out, or in our case this season it was Pogba. When he goes out, there's no creativity in the midfield. Dude, the best teams in the world are bringing Riyad Mahrez off the bench or Leroy Sané off the bench. And United should be there too. Like we should not be playing Gareth Bale off the bench. We should not be bringing Daniel James off the bench. Like, dude, we're United. He's a good player and a good dude.
Yeah.
But this is like top of the top of the top. In theory, that's what we should be. So that's the kind of perspective.
But, I see this happening over like 2 transfer windows maybe. But I don't see this happening over one.
I see.
What you're saying is exactly what Ollie's trying to achieve, right? Like, he's trying to make sure that we have like quality players on our bench who can come in and.
But this kind of like negates the whole Ollie's principle as well of trying to give these guys a second chance and stuff. I understand your concerns as well, saying that, all right, fuck it, we're not performing. Shut the fuck up, Ollie, and get in the best.
Which guys though?
Like Fred and McTominay and Pereira and James.
Fred will play a lot. Like in midfield, you have to rotate it a lot. Like Fred would be my number 1 guy off the bench, and he would start every 3rd game. Like, I think, dude, if you look at Liverpool's midfield, Chamberlain plays a lot. He's not dissatisfied with his minutes. He comes
midfielders, Liverpool's midfielders already. Jordan Henderson's kept it. Like, he's kept his spot. And like they're not
because Fabinho is out.
Either,
Because Fabinho is injured. Imagine that. They have Fabinho and Jordan Henderson.
Yeah.
That's quality.
Yeah.
Then they have Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, Lallana, like Wijnaldum.
Yeah.
Like, that's quality coming off the bench. And I think that's what we need.
Yeah.
Cool.
Should we try coming to like a combined realistic 11 like really quickly? I know this video is going very long, but I think let's quickly do it. I think David De Gea in goal, just starting 11. Let's just start.
Cool.
David De Gea in goal.
Agree with that. Yeah.
Okay, right back. AWB.
Wan-Bissaka, right, for me.
Bissaka, yeah.
That center back is Maguire, right?
Yeah, Maguire is sorted for sure.
Are we doing Koulibaly at the other center back positions?
I think so.
I think it's 2 against. No, it's just me, right? Who said Koulibaly?
I mean, unless.
No, I think Karthik said.
I did. I mean, but if you do Koulibaly, Sancho is definitely out for me. So, and
I think I'd go with yours, man. I think I'd go with Demara.
Demaral? Hell yes. You guys want
just because of the realist. That's what Karthik is saying. With we won't be able to afford Sancho then for sure.
Yeah.
And also like Koulibaly is heavily.
It's about looking at what we need more right now, and I feel like I would want to splash more on Sancho rather than.
And we always have like Lindelof to back him up as well, so I don't think that'll be an issue.
Very good. And
maybe we can go for Koulibaly maybe in the December transfer window.
Potentially, that's a long shot anyway.
I don't know. Has he played that many games this season?
Yeah, he was injured for a bit.
Yeah,
but then played with the majority.
I followed him that much, but yeah.
And
so
Chilwell.
I like Chilwell.
Yeah, me too.
I think Williams can do it, guys. I just think Williams is gonna fucking surprise all of us. He's gonna be like
who's his backup?
Yeah.
You need 2 left backs.
Shaw wasn't out for me anyway, so I didn't think that was left back was necessary. But okay, I mean,
fair enough
for me. But it's 2 against 1, so Chilwell it is.
Yeah. And I think we all have Bruno in our team, right? So Bruno's staying for sure.
Yeah, Bruno staying. Grealish.
Grealish for me because I think that's the most.
Grealish,
Yeah.
we all agree.
Oh, this is the
Grealish.
first team. Yeah, Grealish and
Bruno.
And
Um,
what do you guys want to do
EM.
about the other center mid?
sorry?
Are you
Is
guys
still
sticking with
expensive to me.
McTominay and Fred?
Yeah,
Are you
yeah.
sticking with McTominay and Fred?
I
I'm
am.
sticking with McTominay. Fred is on the bench for me.
Yeah, McTominay or
Yeah.
Fred for me.
Okay, then we won't bring in anybody else because I'm the only one who's saying bring in Dennis.
Yeah.
And right wing, we're all saying Jaden.
Yeah, I think Sancho's a
Yeah,
definite go.
if Koulibaly's not in this team, then yeah, fuck yeah, dude, why not?
Hell yes.
Yeah.
So,
I just
Marcus
hope he wants to
Rashford.
come to United, man. Fuck.
yeah.
I think he
Rashford's not
does.
losing his spot for sure.
Rashford.
Yeah.
And who is playing up top?
This is a tough one.
We had three different. Karthik,
all
you
have
said Martial.
Yes.
Vishnu said Cavani.
Yes.
I said Raul Jimenez.
Mine's the cheapest, guys.
No, Karthik's is the cheapest.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
bringing anybody.
Not bringing anyone.
Bro, I gotta
Do
stick
you
with
really
him.
think we'll get Jimenez for just 50 million though? I mean,
Also,
dude,
I don't think they will sell Jimenez. If they're selling all their fucking players, then Wolves won't have a team.
Adama is probably going.
Adama's
Everyone's on his ass.
Enzo
Like, he's
Mayo,
got-
you want Delafou, you want Neves, you want like fucking everyone. I don't think.
No, yeah, fair enough. But I think De La Feu is probably the lowest chance. I think they would sell him. Dude, they could probably cash the fuck out and bring in like almost 200 million. Dude, Adama Traore's valuation is at like 120 right now. I don't know how.
Yeah.
He's
Well,
not
I don't
that
know how
good.
the fuck
But
that
he's
is.
just, yeah. It's just,
He's not that good, dude. Like, what the fuck? He's just a beast. That's
he's
it.
just a beast, yeah. He's like
Who
what
said it
Hulk
doesn't
was,
work
I
out?
feel.
Yeah, it doesn't do
You know,
weight.
when Hulk came in, yeah.
Cool.
So
I think
I'm
This is a hard one, dude. Like, I don't know, honestly. Jimenez sounds fantastic, but I mean, yeah, ideally, why not, right?
Cool. I
Just
think
realistic,
we
four
can leave
players.
this open to interpretation. Yeah, we can just have like one that we can't disagree on, and I think that's fair enough.
No, but dude,
Yeah.
I think like four players bringing in is not unrealistic. Center back, left back, center mid, and forward. That's what Mourinho did when he came in the first
Yeah.
summer. I don't think that's unrealistic.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I
Or
think
as
that's
Chilwell as one of our left backs. It's not just anyone. You know, it's not like how much was
Zlatan, Pogba, Mkhitaryan, and Bailly.
yeah.
Anyways, let's
Yeah,
wrap up
okay.
there, and we will let the let the community chime in and see what they think.
For sure.
Thank you everybody for tuning in.
Can I just add one more thing actually?
Go ahead.
Just quickly, right? Like, who are the three guys we didn't mention today that you thought could have been a part of the team? Karthik, you can start. Go for it, man.
What do you mean?
Like three guys we didn't like. You thought, all right, okay, this could be a good thing. It can be unrealistic or something that you were doing your research on, and you were like, oh, okay, I'll leave him out in the last minute or something.
It wasn't
Yeah,
last
this-
minute, but I was thinking of Serge Gnabry. I just think he's
That's
bro.
not bad, dude. That's
Bro,
not
I
bad.
thought he was. Yeah,
That would've
I think
been
he
better.
would be fantastic, bro. But
Yeah.
I don't know. But that was, I think, one player. I can't think of like three right now. Him for sure. Like,
Arman, do you have any?
Mine was Axel Witsel from Dortmund.
Yeah.
I fucking love him, dude.
Nice.
But he went to China and he broke my heart before he came back to Dortmund.
I know.
Because I thought like he could have been so good enough
he's a
like 3
fantastic
years
player.
ago.
Fuck, why didn't I think of it? Yeah, bro.
But I went for Zakaria instead of Witsel because that China thing really like put. I know we brought in Igalo from China, but like that thing of just leaving in your prime to go play for China, like that just ruined my whole.
Like what
thought.
like Hulk and Oscar did, right?
Yeah, exactly, dude. Like
Fucking
you're already
even-
getting paid so much. Like fuck.
All right,
So
I've
Axel
got like
Witsel was the main one.
I've got some good shouts actually. I was really thinking of Rakitic.
He's not a good shot, bro. He's old as fuck.
I mean,
He's 31 years old. He's still doing pretty well, but he's just not getting first team action anymore. And I think that he could, because of the Spanish play, I think he could be potentially like good in the midfield for United. I was thinking of Memphis Depay as well because he's
Oh
been
yeah.
fucking killing it
Yeah.
for Lyon.
I would be, yeah, I'd be
I
cool
just
with
don't
that.
know where. I mean, would you play him as a CF?
No, I'd play
Or
him
would
as
you
left.
play-
Like right now, he's playing as a CF for Lyon, but then
Yeah.
he was playing left. So even if we keep him as on the left and then keep Rashford up as CF, that would be okay with me. And then there's our like center forward issue sorted. So like Depay could, but he's got a buyback clause as well for with United.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
don't think it works in France. So that's a no. We left out Musa Dembele as well.
Dude,
We
I
didn't
was
even
about
make
to say when you
that.
said
Yeah.
Depay.
Yeah. Dembele.
Actually, that's a big one that we missed out. That's a
Yeah.
big one.
But that was
I
yeah.
Yeah,
I
and
would
Dries
probably
Mertens.
go. Yeah,
You know,
Dries
I
Mertens.
might not be surprised if that happens though.
Yeah,
Dude,
Dembele.
I would actually go Dembele over Sancho because I feel like I'm just thinking out loud right now because I feel like our center forward position is just so fucked right now.
Yeah, dude. It's
Dembele
just
is pretty damn good.
I don't
Agreed.
know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Oh
don't
well,
know.
it's all the
We'll leave
potential
that.
possibilities.
Yeah, that was that. Dries Mertens is a good shout too because he's
Yeah.
off. He's out of contract. But anyways, that was a good way to end. Thank you everybody
Shit, this is pretty
to the
long.
podcast. It was long, but I
Yeah.
hope you enjoy it. We're gonna try and add some animation and shit like that. And let's see how it turns out. Thank you everybody for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time.
Peace out, guys.
Peace.